Hi there, I just wanted to do this quick video to show an update to the streaming system I've done for my AGK loader. So what I'm going to do is just load up my game. And this time you'll see that the landscape and all that starts with basic but slightly blurry low resolution textures. Now that's an import function that's built into the world builder now. But you can see that as I stand here the world streams in round about me and it starts to update. So those low quality blurry textures get replaced with nice high quality ones. Now there's a few things I want to show you in this demo. So one of them is I've introduced a level of distance culling for objects, so you can see those plants and sticks and the bits of fence and everything in front of me, and they're disappearing as I walk away. Now for demonstration purposes I've got the distance set really short, but what it's now doing is essentially it culls off the small objects in the world as they're not needed. Now the big thing is obviously the texture streaming itself. Now at the top you can see that there's some stats and some figures. It says it's erasing 0 images, you got a frame rate, and then at the moment I'm using about 1200 meg of texture memory. Now you can see in the distance here the texture in the raft at the moment is a little bit blurry. It's not particularly great, but as I walk a bit closer to it, all of a sudden, there we go, it's just streamed in the higher quality texture. Now my memory has increased to 1216 megabytes because that's the texture for the raft. If I walk away again, it disappears. And what it's doing is it's now dropping that texture back out of memory. So again, as I walk a bit closer, you can see it starts streaming it in, and then that texture updates with a nice high quality one. Now it's fully functional in multiple meshes, so if I just head over towards this tree here, now this tree is in multiple meshes. So the trunk itself is one and the leaves are another. Now hopefully in this video it's clear enough so you can see that those leaves are a bit blurry, they're a bit low detailed, but there we go, I've walked a bit closer. Ping, just like that, it's come in high quality texture, and again it's 1233 megabytes. As I walk away again, it gets nice and blurry. It works with everything in the game at the moment, so that building in the background again, the roof you can hopefully see is very blurry at the moment. I walk a bit closer to it, once I get within the set range, the game's going to stream in the high quality texture. So I'm sitting at about 1189 megabyte of texture data. This building over here, again I'm just going to do the same. Get within a certain distance, it's going to stream in a nice high quality one, so you can see the grain on the wood there. As I walk away it drops down and you can see the memory usage, well, as I get further away, drop away. Now textures are actually held in memory a little bit further away than they're needed, and that's so that the world is not constantly streaming texture in if you step back and forward. Now what I'm going to do is, that distance was obviously very short, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to extend the distance slightly, and I'm going to rerun the program. And this time it will stream the textures in from a much further distance, so you'll see far less texture pop in. In fact, the only textures you'll see popping in at all are really large ones. So again, you can see here it's screaming about 150 textures at the moment. I can wander about and I can play the game just as normal. Now this time you can see that already that blue building and that tree are much higher detail. Now I'm sitting at just shy of 1500 megabytes used this time because a lot more of the graphics are being held for a lot closer, a lot longer distance, sorry. But it does mean that as I walk about I can see the high quality textures from a much bigger distance. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to head over to my raft here, and I'm going to demonstrate how this works in real time. So if we imagine that this is in a game world and this is my little village, and I want to go somewhere else in the world and there's another village, but I obviously don't have an infinite amount of memory, I don't want to have to use 1500 megabytes of textures for everything I do. So I'm going to jump on board my raft and I'm going to set sail and I'm going to float away from the village. Now as I sail away, pay close attention to the amount of memory that's used. So the further away I get, the less memory it needs to hold in for that textures for the village that I've left. So there we go. I've now sailed as far away as I need to be for all of the high quality textures within that village to be dropped out. So now I'm sitting at 1195 megabytes of usage. Now a lot of that's being used up by the terrain and the vegetation. Now I can obviously see there that the villages still exist present, it's still got the low quality textures on it, and again they're probably still higher than they need to be, but that's entirely scalable. This time I'm going to sail back toward the village. Now again, watch the memory usage sitting at the moment at 1195 megabytes of used texture memory or video memory, but as I get closer to the village and it starts to realise that it needs to stream in the high quality textures again, instantaneously the streaming takes over and it starts to load them all back in again. So that by the time I get here and arrive in the village, all those lovely high quality textures are restored. Again, you can see the roof in that house in the background, it's still very blurry at the moment. I'll go a little bit closer and it gets it up to full distance. Now I can obviously set that scaling distance to be as far as I want, and at the moment it's linked to it culling off the small objects, so you shouldn't have seen much in the way of pop-up on all the smaller objects. The plants and sticks and that aren't disappearing this time, but obviously as I sailed away and I didn't need to see them, things like the fences and anything that's within parameters that I set will automatically be culled to keep performance. So real-time texture streaming and dropout in AGK Tier 1.